In 2024, China executes a man who stole over $400 million, the biggest corruption case in its history. He's not the only one. From coal deals to police networks, the rot runs deep. Xi Jinping promises clean governance, but who gets caught and who doesn't tells a different story. Here are 5 scandals that expose how power really works inside China's ruling system. The room smells like damp concrete and burnt paper. It's late December 2024, and inside a high-security prison in northern China, a man in his 60s prepares for execution. His name is Xi Jinping, and just a few years earlier, he wore crisp suits and gave orders from a glass office tower in Hohhot, Inner Mongolia. He once ran the city's powerful economic and technological development zone, a position that on paper meant overseeing growth. In reality, it became his personal gold mine. Between 2008 and 2018, Li embezzled and accepted bribes totaling more than $400 million, funneling state funds through fake infrastructure projects, shady land deals, and a spider web of shell companies. He didn't just bend the rules, he built his own economy within the states. Chinese media called it unprecedented, the largest corruption case in the history of the People's Republic. For years, Li operated with near total impunity, enriching his family, allies, and himself under the guise of regional development. But when Xi Jinping's anti-corruption campaign shifted its focus westward, Li's luck collapsed. The Supreme People's Court upheld his death sentence without reprieve and almost extinct punishment in white-collar cases. On December 17th, he was executed by lethal injection. His downfall became more than a personal tragedy, it was a warning shot. In a system where the party giveth, and the party taketh away, no one, not even the richest thief in the bureaucracy, is beyond reach. $62 million. That's how much Pengyuan manages to rake in over the course of 16 years without ever leaving Inner Mongolia. As vice chairman of the region's People's Congress, he controls a vast landscape rich in coal rare earths and lucrative land permits. What starts as quiet favoritism turns into a sprawling operation, mining licenses handed out like poker chips, construction deals greased with cash-stuffed envelopes. By the time Beijing catches wind, the damage is done. When he's arrested in 2019, investigators uncover a maze of bribes, shell deals, and political favors stretching across the region. But this isn't just a local scandal, it's a blueprint for how corruption thrives in China's outer provinces. Inner Mongolia, despite its remote image, sits on mountains of mineral wealth, and Xing treats it like a personal ATM. His takedown triggers a domino effect, sweeping dozens of other officials into a regional anti-graft campaign. The party frames it as a cleansing. But to many, it looks more like a reminder when local kings get too bold, the emperor tightens the leash. In a land where coal dust and politics mix freely, Pengyuan's fortune turns to ash the moment the spotlight hits. How much cash do you need to burn out 4 money-counting machines? According to Chinese investigators in 2014, about $30 million. That's how much they find piled in cardboard boxes, dresser drawers, and duffel bags inside Pengyuan's home. So much cash it forms a 3-meter tower. If you stacked it bill by bill, they say it would rival the Eiffel Tower in height. Wei isn't a casino boss or tech billionaire. He's a mid-level official in the National Energy Administration, someone who approves coal projects, drafts permit documents, and nods at construction bids. In China's energy sector, that kind of paper pushing comes with billion-dollar influence. For over a decade, Wei turns his office into a pay-to-play toll booth. You want a coal deal in Shaanxi, you bring a bag. A power station license in Inner Mongolia, that'll cost you too. Kickbacks become the norm, not the exception, and his desk drawer becomes a vault. When the Anti-Corruption Task Force finally knocks on his door, what they find is so absurd, it becomes legend. 16 counting machines, some literally smoking. In a country where energy powers the economy. Wei's case is a brutal reminder: when one man controls the grid, it's easy to forget where the wires lead. I had too much money to spend, Li Xiaomin reportedly said during his televised confession. That's one way to explain 300 apartments, luxury cars by the dozen, and safes overflowing with cash. For a decade, Li runs Huarong Asset Management, one of China's biggest state-owned financial firms, as if it were his personal bank. Between 2008 and 2018, he accepts bribes worth $277 million, making him one of the richest white-collar criminals in Communist Party history. His Beijing property stash becomes known as the Cash Palace, and investigators find entire rooms packed with bills. But Li's scandal doesn't end with money. He's also convicted of bigamy, maintaining mistresses across several cities, and fathering children out of wedlock while married. His life reads like a Wall Street tabloid with a state-owned twist, except this one ends in lethal injection. In January 2021, the court sentences him to death, despite his deep political ties and financial rank. Li's execution shocks the business world and sends a very public message: not even the party's own money men are untouchable. Behind the numbers is a simpler truth: when ambition outgrows allegiance, the guillotine isn't far behind. Power, when weaponized, doesn't just corrupt, it corrodes. Sun Lijun doesn't run a business empire or manage a state-owned bank. He runs fear. As Vice Minister of Public Security, he controls the flow of information, monitors dissent, and oversees operations in Hong Kong and Macau during some of their most turbulent years. Behind his official smile is a man building a shadow empire within the intelligence world, installing loyalists, trading favors, and pocketing nearly $95 million in bribes. In a job meant to protect the state from threats, Sun becomes the threat himself. By 2022, the walls close in. He's convicted of accepting hundreds of millions of yuan in bribes, while quietly forging alliances with fellow political clique elites like Fu Zhenghua. His network reaches deep into law enforcement, the courts, and state security, blurring the line between policymaker and puppet master. Sun doesn't just take bribes. He re-engineers the power structure to serve himself. His fall is swift, dramatic, and deeply symbolic. In a system obsessed with control, Sun Lijun's story is a gut punch, a reminder that the most dangerous corruption isn't always financial. Sometimes it's the quiet hand behind the curtain, pulling all the strings. These cases span energy, finance, security, and regional leadership. No part of the state is immune. Xi's anti-corruption campaign punishes tigers and flies, but also centralizes control. For Western viewers, these stories illustrate how authoritarian systems can breed vast hidden corruption. Ask yourself, in a system where punishment is swift but power unchecked, who truly watches the watchers?